The galaxy was not kind to those who underestimated the void. In a small star cluster on the edge of a spiral arm, the colony world of Seradia trembled under attack. A massive fleet of unknown ships rained destruction from orbit, their energy weapons carving deep scars across cities, leaving clouds of fire and smoke. Civilians screamed, alarms rang, and the planet's defense forces were stretched to their limit. In the command tower of Seradia's capital, Admiral Kale stared at the holomap of the system, his claws tapping nervously against the console. The enemy ships were fast, organized, and heavily armed. Every plan they had tried failed almost immediately. "They keep flanking us," Kale growled. "Our cruisers can't hold them. They're outnumbering us 10-1. His first officer, Lieutenant Mara, her scales glistening in the flickering light of the holographic map, responded with worry. "Admiral, our communications to the Galactic Council are failing. We've sent multiple distress signals, but there's no reply." Kale's tail lashed across the floor. "No reply. As if the Council doesn't care. We need help now, or Seradia is lost." Outside the command tower, explosions shook the ground. Alien citizens ran through streets torn apart by laser fire. Fighter squadrons engaged the enemy, but their losses were mounting with frightening speed. Every blink of the sensors revealed more of the attacking fleet, organized and relentless. Kale turned back to his console, a plan forming. If no one would answer, then he had only one choice left. He activated a secure, encrypted channel, sending a message he hoped would reach somewhere, anywhere, far enough from the cluster that the attackers had no influence. "This is Admiral Kale of the Seradia Defense Fleet," he spoke into the channel, his voice steady despite the tension. "We are overwhelmed. We are cornered in the Neris system. Immediate reinforcements are required. If no assistance arrives, Seradia will fall. I repeat, Seradia will fall." He paused, holding his breath, and then transmitted the final coordinates of the fleet. He knew the message might never reach anyone. But hope was better than despair. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, on the blue and white planet of Earth, humans were preparing for routine patrols. The Interstellar Council often considered Earth insignificant. Humans were curious, intelligent, but rarely taken seriously. Most alien species dismissed them as a minor civilization, with experimental technology. Lieutenant Commander Elena Cruz was at the helm of the United Earth Fleet Communications Array when the Seradian message arrived. At first, she thought it was a misrouted transmission. The fleet rarely received messages from the edge of the galaxy, and many were ignored. But the distress tone was unmistakable. "Elena," said Captain Richards, entering the control room. His brow was furrowed. "Is that a Seradian transmission?" "It's coming through secure frequencies. We've never had traffic from that sector before." Elena's fingers flew across the console. "Yes, sir. They are under heavy attack. They've sent coordinates. And they say the fleet is being destroyed." "This is serious." Richards paused, considering. "And the Council?" "They've seen it," Elena said, shaking her head. "But no one is responding. They are debating as usual." The captain's jaw tightened. "Debating while they die. That's unacceptable. Prepare the Vanguard-class prototype for immediate deployment." The human ship Vanguard was the pride of Earth's fleet, sleek, heavily armored, and equipped with experimental weapons and advanced AI navigation systems. It was capable of remarkable speed and precision. No other species had seen it in action. Its very existence was classified to most of the galaxy. By the time the humans finalized their preparations, the Seradian fleet was at its breaking point. One of the colony's largest cruisers, the Neris Shield, had been destroyed in a single volley. Fire and debris scattered across orbit, taking with it hundreds of lives. Kale watched helplessly, his scales reflecting the fiery glow. "We cannot hold much longer," Mara said, her voice tight. "Our flanks are collapsing. The enemy will take the capital in minutes." Kale's mind raced. He had trained his entire life for situations like this, but nothing could prepare him for this scale of destruction. He thought of the people on the ground, the families, the children running through ruined streets. He clenched his fists. If the Council refused to act, then maybe someone else would. Somewhere far away, maybe there was a civilization that still valued courage and quick action. Kale adjusted the frequency of his emergency transmission, hoping against hope that it would reach those who cared. Back on Earth, the Vanguard prepared to jump into hyperspace. The human crew moved with calm precision, checking systems, running calculations, and readying weapons. Elena stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic map. "This mission is dangerous," she said. "We are sending one ship into an active war zone completely alone. No backup. Are we sure we want to do this?" Captain Richard's expression was resolute. "Yes. Because if humans don't act, the galaxy will lose more than just Seradia. It's time someone showed what Earth can do. The Council may hesitate, but we will not. Prepare for hyperspace jump." The engines roared as the Vanguard entered the jump coordinates. In moments, the ship disappeared from the local space. Across the galaxy, the human crew prepared to face a fleet that dwarfed their single vessel in both number and firepower, but they were trained for this. Humans were unpredictable, and unpredictability was a weapon no one could measure. In the Seradian system, the alien fleet tried one last coordinated maneuver. Fighters screamed past cruisers, weaving in and out of enemy fire, attempting to slow the attackers. But the alien admiral's tactical options were shrinking rapidly. Kale turned to Mara. "If we are going to die, we die fighting. Alert all remaining units. Focus fire on the enemy's lead formation. We cannot let them break through to the core cities." Mara nodded and relayed the orders. Around them, the fleet prepared for what could be its final engagement. The atmosphere in the command tower was tense, heavy with fear, but also determination. Even facing impossible odds, the Seradian officers refused to surrender. Meanwhile, deep in hyperspace, the Vanguard surged forward, faster than any conventional ship in the galaxy. Its AI calculated hundreds of variables in seconds: enemy positions, weapon ranges, optimal attack patterns, and potential ambush points. The human crew trusted the calculations and their own instincts. "This is it," Elena whispered. "We are about to enter an active war zone. The eyes of the galaxy may be on us even if they do not know it." The ship's sensors began to detect activity in the Seradian system. Energy signatures, weapon discharges, and massive ships maneuvering for attack. The war had not paused for their arrival. The humans were about to step into a battlefield where every move could mean survival or destruction. As the Vanguard exited hyperspace, the human crew saw the destruction firsthand. Fires burned across planetary cities. Enemy ships moved like shadows across the void, and alien cruisers were struggling to hold formation. For a brief moment, the humans hesitated, awed by the scale of the conflict, but the captain's voice cut through. "Focus," Richard said. "One ship can make a difference if we fight smart. Let's show them why Earth does not wait for permission." The bridge crew prepared the ship's weapons and shields. Outside, the void was silent, until the first energy volleys lit the darkness. The Seradian fleet paused, watching the small human vessel enter their system. They did not understand what it was or what it could do. Their panic was clear. Yet even in their fear, hope sparked in their hearts. Perhaps this single ship could change everything. Kyle looked at the approaching figure on the sensors. Is that a human ship?" he asked, disbelief in his voice. Mara's eyes widened. "I've never seen anything like it. It shouldn't be able to move like that. Look at the way it maneuvers." For the first time in hours, a spark of hope lit the command tower. Maybe, just maybe, salvation had arrived from a world most of the galaxy ignored. The first energy blasts fired by the Vanguard were precise, cutting through the attacking fleet with surgical accuracy. Explosions illuminated the dark void of space. Alien officers exchanged stunned looks. This was unlike any combat they had experienced. The humans were different. And in that moment, as a single ship defied overwhelming odds, the war changed forever. The battlefield in the Neris system was chaos. Alien cruisers struggled to hold formation as waves of enemy ships surged through the void, their energy beams cutting through shields and hulls alike. Fires glowed in orbiting cities, and debris from destroyed ships drifted in the silent, deadly vacuum of space. Admiral Kale stood at the bridge of the Seradia command cruiser, watching the destruction unfold. His claws tapped nervously on the console. "We cannot hold them," he growled. "Every maneuver we try fails. They anticipate our every move." Lieutenant Mara's eyes were fixed on the holomap. "Admiral, sensors are picking up something unusual. A single ship moving at incredible speed. It's approaching us from hyperspace." Kale's tail twitched. "A single ship? Here it can't be." On the bridge, energy readings confirmed what they already suspected. The ship was unlike anything in the galaxy. Sleek, angular, and glowing faintly with its own energy signature, it moved with precision that made the Seradian officer's sensors seem slow. Is it friend or foe? Mara whispered. Kyle clenched his jaw. We will find out, fast. The ship materialized in the system, its hull reflecting distant starlight. Its presence was commanding, yet its size was smaller than the largest Ceradian cruisers. The enemy ships faltered for a moment, confused by the sudden appearance. On the human ship Vanguard, Captain Richards stood calmly on the bridge. Sensors confirm multiple enemy formations ahead. The Ceradian fleet is cornered. Initiating engagement protocol. Crew, prepare for precise strike maneuvers. We move fast, hit hard, and adapt. Elena Cruz, Lieutenant Commander, nodded. All systems ready, Captain. Weapons online, shields at maximum, AI support active. We are clear for deployment. Richards glanced at the holographic display of the battlefield. Good. Let's remind them what Earth can do. The humans didn't hesitate. With fluid precision, the Vanguard weaved through the enemy formations, dodging concentrated fire that would have destroyed most conventional ships. Its weapons discharged with exact timing, targeting critical points, shield generators, engines, and command modules. From the Ceradian perspective, it was breathtaking. Kale watched as the enemy fleet faltered under the attack of a single ship. Impossible, he muttered. No ship should have this speed, this accuracy. The Vanguard's tactics were unlike anything the Ceradians had experienced. It didn't follow predictable patterns. It didn't cluster with the main fleet. Instead, it acted independently, creating openings in the enemy formations that Ceradian cruisers could exploit. Mara's eyes widened. It's helping us. And it's showing us how to fight differently. Look at the way it divides their forces. Kyle's claws tapped the console faster, issuing orders he had never considered before. Focus on their exposed flank. Follow the human ship's movements. Don't hesitate. Take the chance it gives us. Alien ships adjusted their formations, inspired by the single human vessel. They began coordinating attacks they had never attempted, striking weak points and covering one another as the humans suggested through their precise movements. The enemy, caught off guard, struggled to maintain control. Meanwhile, the human crew remained calm. Every maneuver was calculated yet adaptable. AI-assisted targeting predicted enemy behavior, but the crew relied on intuition as well. They combined speed, creativity, and intelligence in a way that seemed almost effortless. An enemy destroyer attempted to flank the Ceradians from the right. The Vanguard intercepted, darting between energy beams and unleashing a series of concentrated strikes. The destroyer exploded in a brilliant flare of light, debris scattering in all directions. The Ceradian officers could hardly believe their eyes. That one ship, it just destroyed a capital-class enemy, Mara said, barely able to speak. Kale's voice was low, filled with cautious hope. It's giving us a chance. Keep pushing. Don't let them recover. The human captain had more in mind than simple destruction. He used the ship's advanced sensors to analyze enemy formations in real time, predicting the next moves of multiple squadrons simultaneously. Every strike was designed not only to inflict damage but also to manipulate enemy behavior, forcing them into mistakes. The alien fleet began to adapt, inspired by the human example. Fighters weaved through enemy fire with new confidence. Cruisers executed flanking maneuvers they had never tried before. Even though they had been on the brink of defeat minutes ago, the tide of battle began to shift. The enemy commander, sensing the sudden reversal, grew frustrated. What is this? One ship, one small vessel. It's turning the battle in their favor. It should not be possible. On the bridge of the Vanguard, Captain Richards watched the holomap. They're losing coordination. Keep up the pressure, exploit every weakness, but remember, protect the Ceradian fleet as best we can. Elena Cruz adjusted the targeting systems. Enemy reinforcements detected. Multiple squadrons incoming. Richards nodded. We've dealt with worse. Let's make sure they regret underestimating us. The humans executed a daring flanking maneuver. The Vanguard zipped through a narrow asteroid field, using it for cover, and struck the enemy formation from behind. 2 enemy cruisers were destroyed in seconds, their energy shields overloaded by the concentrated fire. Back on the Seradian command bridge, Kale let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. They are fighting like no one I've ever seen. They adapt, they calculate, and they take risks. All at the same time. Mara's voice trembled, a mix of awe and relief. Admiral, I think they can save us. I really think they can. The human captain broadcast a simple message to the Seradian fleet. We are here to assist. Follow our lead. Trust in the strategy and your own instincts. Together we can drive them back. Kale hesitated, then gave the order. All units, follow the human ship's maneuvers. Do not fire independently. Coordinate. We have a chance. A real chance. The alien ships responded. For the first time in hours, there was hope. Fighters coordinated, cruisers flanked, and energy volleys found their targets with deadly precision. The enemy fleet, confused by the sudden change, began to falter. Enemy morale crumbled. Ships that had been confident moments ago now hesitated, their formations breaking under pressure. The humans were not just fighting. They were teaching, inspiring, and reshaping the battle in real time. The Vanguard moved gracefully through the chaos, its hull taking minimal damage while delivering maximum effect. Explosions illuminated the darkness of space, debris drifting around like falling stars. Kale shook his head in disbelief. They are humans. One ship. And they are changing everything. The enemy commander realized the battle was slipping away. Pull back, retreat, regroup. But it was too late. The human ship had forced critical weaknesses, and the Seradian fleet followed with coordinated strikes. The enemy retreated, leaving behind a trail of wreckage. As the dust of battle settled, the Seradian officers gathered on the bridge, watching the remnants of the enemy flee. Cheers erupted, though tempered by exhaustion and the heavy losses they had suffered. Kale turned to Mara, his expression a mixture of relief and disbelief. We would have been lost without them. One ship, from a species most of the galaxy ignores, has turned the tide. Mara nodded, tears in her eyes. They fight differently. They think differently. They make impossible things possible. The Vanguard hovered nearby, unscathed but vigilant. The humans made no boast, no proclamation. They had not come for glory. They had come to save lives and to inspire. Their presence was a reminder of something the galaxy had long underestimated. Human courage, intelligence, and ingenuity could alter the course of war. As Kale watched the human ship, he felt something new stir within him. Hope. Perhaps Earth's involvement was only the beginning. Perhaps the galaxy had yet to see what humanity was truly capable of. For the Seradians, this battle was far from over. But now, with one human ship in their corner, they could dream of victory again. And that, more than any weapon or strategy, was the most powerful thing in the universe. The silence after the enemy's retreat was brief. In the cold void of the Neris system, both the Seradian fleet and the human ship Vanguard took stock of the battlefield. Wreckage floated in drifting silence, broken cruisers and destroyed fighters serving as grim reminders of what had been lost. Admiral Kale moved across the bridge of his flagship, still in awe of the human ship's capabilities. We survived, he said almost to himself. But they will return. And next time, we cannot rely on luck. Lieutenant Mara approached, her face tense. Admiral, the humans, they're remarkable. They've shown us tactics we've never considered. If we work with them, maybe we can turn the tide for good. Kale nodded. Agreed. We cannot fight blindly anymore. I want every unit to follow the human strategy. No improvisation unless instructed. It is time we fight smart. On the bridge of the Vanguard, Captain Richards observed the alien fleet with calm precision. They're ready to follow, but we need coordination. Sensors indicate the enemy will reorganize in the next few hours. That's our window. We strike before they can reinforce. Elena Cruz, monitoring the enemy's remaining forces, reported, Enemy formations are scattered, but their reinforcements are on the way. If we act quickly, we can force them into a trap. Richards nodded. Then we do exactly that. Prepare the fleet for a coordinated strike. Let's teach them how humans fight. Fast, precise, and without fear. The Ceradian officers gathered their ships, exchanging cautious glances. They had seen what one human ship could do, but now they were asked to follow it into an offensive. It was an entirely new experience. Kale's voice over the comms brought calm and authority. All units, listen carefully. The humans have a plan. Follow their lead. Watch their movements and adjust. The enemy will not expect this. The Ceradian fleet moved with renewed energy. Fighters flanked enemy positions. Cruisers concentrated fire on weakened areas, and capital ships executed maneuvers that seemed impossible hours before. Each move was precise, guided by the vanguard. The first wave of engagement began near a debris field surrounding a shattered moon. Enemy scouts approached, unaware of the trap awaiting them. Richards calculated the trajectory and speed of every enemy vessel in seconds. All units converge here. Draw them in, then isolate and strike. The enemy scouts, confident and overconfident, advanced directly into the calculated kill zone. The human ship darted between asteroids, drawing enemy fire and exposing weak points. Ceradian cruisers moved in perfect sync, striking with devastating precision. Explosions lit the void as the first enemy wave was obliterated. Kyle watched, astonished. They are using our fleet as a weapon, yet guiding it like it's their own. Mara nodded. I've never seen tactics like this. Humans, they don't just fight. They think in ways we cannot predict. And it works. The enemy commander, furious and bewildered, tried to rally his scattered forces. Regroup! Attack from multiple angles! Don't let them dictate the battle. But the humans had already calculated the enemy's likely responses. The vanguard maneuvered again, forcing enemy ships to scatter into zones where Ceradian cruisers waited. Energy blasts tore through enemy formations, leaving chaos in their wake. This is incredible, Kel muttered. They've turned our desperation into strategy. The humans communicated through simple but effective commands, directing the aliens without arrogance. Focus fire here. Watch your blind spots. Cover your rear. Trust your instincts. Every command was a lesson in combat efficiency. As the first major engagement ended, the enemy commander realized that raw numbers were no longer enough. They fight differently, and they are teaching their allies in real time. How is this possible? On the human ship, Elena adjusted targeting systems. Captain, the enemy is preparing a larger formation. If we don't act quickly, we lose the advantage. Richard studied the holomap. Then we act decisively. Initiate the second wave. We draw them into a narrow corridor and collapse the trap. Use our mobility to keep them off balance. The Ceradian fleet responded instantly. Following the vanguard, their ships moved as one unit. Cruisers split enemy attention, fighters created diversions, and every vessel knew its role perfectly. The enemy fleet entered the corridor, confident they could overwhelm the Ceradians. They were wrong. The vanguard and Ceradian cruisers struck simultaneously from multiple directions. Enemy ships were trapped, their escape routes blocked by precise human-calculated positioning. The narrow corridor amplified every shot, every maneuver. Explosions echoed through space, bright against the darkness of the void. Cal couldn't contain his amazement. This is impossible. They are teaching us tactics as we fight. Every move is coordinated yet unpredictable. They make the impossible possible. Mara, gripping the console, whispered. They fight differently. They see the battlefield like it's a living thing. They adjust, predict, and act faster than anyone else. The enemy commander, seeing half of his forces destroyed or trapped, attempted a desperate retreat. But the humans anticipated it. The vanguard intercepted, its weapons precise, its maneuvers untraceable. Even seasoned enemy captains could not predict where the ship would strike next. Fighters and cruisers that had once fled now rallied behind the humans. Inspired by the bravery and skill they had witnessed, Ceradian pilots performed daring maneuvers, striking from angles that had been unthinkable hours ago. The enemy fleet, previously confident, began to crumble. The humans did not seek glory. Their goal was efficiency. Every strike minimized Ceradian losses, while maximizing impact on the enemy. Every maneuver was calculated to save lives, not just destroy ships. The Ceradian commanders were learning rapidly, taking notes even amid the chaos. In the middle of the battle, Kale spoke over comms. All units follow the humans' lead. Trust them. Adapt as they do. Victory is within reach. The tide of the battle turned completely. Enemy formations collapsed under the combined pressure of human precision and Ceradian determination. Their ships scattered, fleeing in confusion. Some were destroyed in pursuit. Others escaped to regroup, but their morale was shattered. As the fighting subsided, the Ceradian fleet regrouped, battered but alive. Wreckage floated around the system, a testament to the ferocity of the battle. Kale surveyed the scene, filled with awe. One ship, one human ship, has done what the Council refused to do. They have saved us. Mara approached him, still catching her breath. They fight with purpose, Admiral. Not just weapons, but intelligence, courage, and adaptability. They've given us more than victory, they've given us hope. The humans remained vigilant. The Vanguard hovered near the fleet, scanning for threats, calculating strategies for any potential counterattack. They had not come to dominate or take credit. They had come to teach, inspire, and protect. Kyle realized something then. This was not just about one battle. This was a demonstration of what humans could do. A single ship, guided by intellect, courage, and ingenuity, had turned an entire engagement into a lesson for an entire fleet. As the alien commanders observed, a quiet respect formed. Whispers spread among the officers. Humans. They fight differently. They think differently. They are remarkable. For the first time in weeks, Ceradia breathed a little easier. The enemy might return, but now the fleet had something it never had before. Strategy, coordination, and inspiration led by a species it had long underestimated. Kale turned to Mara, his eyes reflecting the glow of distant explosions. We will fight again, and next time we will be ready. The humans have shown us a new way to survive and to win. Mara nodded. And we will follow them, Admiral, because for the first time I believe we can win. The human ship remained near the fleet, a silent guardian in the darkness. The crew prepared for whatever the enemy might try next, their focus unwavering. They had shown what humans could do, and the galaxy had taken notice. In that moment, the Ceradians understood something important. Humanity was not just another species. They were a force that could change the outcome of wars, shift alliances, and inspire hope where there was none. And the galaxy would soon learn that when humans acted, even one ship could turn the tide of battle. The horizon of the Neris system glowed with the remnants of battle. Fires burned on planets below, but the stars above were clearer now. One ship had arrived, and with it the beginning of a new chapter for Ceradia, and for the galaxy itself. The Ceradian fleet had tasted victory, but their relief was short-lived. Across the system, the remnants of the enemy fleet had regrouped in deep space, rallying reinforcements from nearby sectors. Their anger at the unexpected defeat burned like fire. Losing to a single ship and the aliens it inspired was unacceptable. The enemy commander, a towering figure in their holographic bridge, slammed a clawed hand against the console. How did one vessel defeat so many? This is unacceptable! Prepare for a full counterattack. We will crush the humans and their allies and reclaim the system. Back on the Ceradian command cruiser, Admiral Kale and Lieutenant Mara monitored the incoming signals. They're coming back! In full force, Kale said, his jaw tight. We've slowed them, but they are not finished yet. Mara's eyes were wide. Their reinforcements are enormous. Even with the humans' help, this will be our greatest test. Kyle nodded. Then we will face it head on. No retreat. Victory or nothing. On the bridge of the human ship Vanguard, Captain Richards reviewed the holomap. Enemy forces are reorganizing. Estimates show 3 times their original strength. They are confident, overconfident, and that is our advantage. Elena Cruz adjusted targeting algorithms. Captain, shields are at maximum. Weapons are ready. The crew is prepared, Richards nodded. Good. This is where humans and our allies show why we fight differently. We won't just survive. We will lead and we will teach. The first signs of the counterattack appeared as small squadrons darted from hyperspace, followed quickly by larger cruisers and warships. The Ceradian fleet tensed. Fighters scrambled, capital ships maneuvered defensively, and energy shields flared under incoming fire. Kale's voice came over the comms, steady and commanding. All units follow the human ship's lead. Watch their maneuvers carefully. They are our guide now. Coordination is everything. The Vanguard moved first, weaving through enemy fire with ease. Its speed and precision were unlike anything the Ceradians had seen before. Every shot, every maneuver, calculated to maximize effect while minimizing risk. The human ship drew enemy fire strategically, creating openings for the Ceradian cruisers to strike. Fighters swarmed through the void. taking advantage of these openings and began to chip away at the incoming enemy forces. The humans didn't just fight, they taught. Every command was simple, clear, and immediately effective. Target the lead formation, Richards ordered. Focus on engines first, then weapon systems. Disable, don't just destroy. Keep them from regrouping. The enemy commander's face darkened as their attacks faltered. Their squadrons were thrown into confusion, with ships scattered and vulnerable. Every move the humans anticipated, countered, and exploited. Kale could hardly contain his astonishment. They are not just fighting. They are predicting, adapting, and teaching at the same time. This is incredible, Mara nodded. It's more than combat. It's strategy in motion. They see the battlefield as a whole, not just as individual ships. The Vanguard continued its relentless pressure. Using asteroid fields and debris as cover, it struck at the enemy from angles they could not anticipate. Energy beams tore through shields, forcing retreat after retreat. Ceradian cruisers followed, gaining confidence in their own abilities while still guided by the humans. Suddenly, a massive warship, larger than any in the Ceradian fleet, emerged from hyperspace. Its engines glowed ominously as it advanced, a weapon of destruction capable of obliterating multiple cruisers at once. Enemy morale soared at the sight, and the Ceradians felt a chill of fear. Richard studied the warship's trajectory and patterns. "This is the big one," he said calmly. "We will need precision, not brute force. Elena, mark their weapon arrays and engine cores. We hit exactly where it counts." Elena's hands moved quickly across the console. Targets locked. Weapons ready. Shields at full. The Vanguard darted forward, drawing the attention of the massive ship. Its guns fired in perfect timing, disabling shields on one side. Ceradian cruisers followed through, attacking the exposed side. The enemy warship faltered under the combined assault, forced to retreat with heavy damage. Kyle's claws clenched on the console. They did it again, with precise strikes, not overwhelming force, one ship, showing the difference humans make. But the enemy was relentless. More squadrons poured in from hyperspace, larger, faster, and more organized than before. They were desperate to regain control, to prove dominance over both Ceradians and the human interloper. Richards assessed the situation carefully. "We cannot let them organize. We divide, we distract, and we conquer. Elena, calculate optimal flanking paths. Mara, relay Ceradian maneuvers and keep them in sync." The humans coordinated with the aliens like an invisible conductor. Every ship moved with purpose, covering blind spots, taking risks where needed, and striking precisely where the enemy was weakest. The enemy commander realized that raw numbers alone would not win this battle. "Impossible," he snarled. "How can one species change an entire fleet's effectiveness? They are teaching them to fight." Kale watched the enemy falter. "We never could have imagined this. One human ship has given us tactics, courage, and hope, and now we fight differently because of them." The battle raged on, but the Ceradians grew stronger, emboldened by the humans' guidance. Fighters executed daring maneuvers. Cruisers struck where they had never dared, and the combined forces began turning the engagement decisively in their favor. The enemy, confused and battered, began to retreat again, their formations broken. Ships that had once been confident now fled in disorder. Even the massive warship could not withstand the coordinated pressure, forced to abandon pursuit. On the Vanguard, Richards allowed a moment of quiet observation. This is why humans fight differently, not just for survival, but to inspire and lead. The enemy underestimates creativity and adaptability, and that is their downfall. Kale addressed his fleet. "Today we learn more than just how to survive. We learn how to fight as a true fleet, guided by intelligence and courage. Humanity has shown us the way." Mara, watching the remnants of the enemy retreat, whispered, "We may be battered, but we are alive, and we are learning faster than I ever thought possible." The Vanguard remained near the Ceradian fleet, scanning the skies for any sign of regrouping forces. The humans' calm, precise actions had not only saved lives but instilled confidence. The alien crews began to believe in victory, something they had thought impossible hours before. Richards addressed both crews via comms. "We will not stop until the system is secure. Trust your instincts. Follow the strategy, and remember, we fight not just with weapons but with intelligence, courage, and coordination." The Ceradians had never seen such leadership. Kale realized that humans were not just soldiers, they were strategists, teachers, and morale builders in one. Their presence alone changed the battle, the perception of the fleet, and the hearts of the people they fought to protect. The horizon of the Neris system burned with residual explosions, but for the first time the Ceradians could breathe. The enemy had been repelled, their counterattack foiled, and a lesson had been learned. Underestimating humans was a mistake no species could afford to make. Kyle turned to Mara, his voice filled with quiet reverence. One ship, one species, and they have shown us the future of warfare. We owe them our lives, our fleet, perhaps even our survival, Mara nodded. And they have only just arrived, Admiral. If this is the beginning, then humanity's role in this galaxy is only going to grow. We are fortunate, incredibly fortunate. The Vanguard floated silently among the fleet, vigilant, ready for the next challenge. The humans had proven that intelligence, courage, and adaptability could overcome overwhelming odds. They were not just allies. They were a force that could inspire entire civilizations to fight smarter together. As stars twinkled in the distance, the Ceradian fleet prepared for what was next. The enemy might strike again, but now they faced not just hope, but a new way to fight. And with humans leading, the galaxy had already begun to change. The Neris system was quiet, but it was a tense, watchful silence. The Ceradian fleet had survived the enemy's counterattack, but the threat had not fully vanished. Broken ships floated in orbit, and the glow of distant explosions reminded everyone of the cost of the battle. Yet hope had returned, stronger than ever, because the human ship Vanguard remained at the heart of the fleet. Admiral Kale paced the bridge, his claws tapping the console lightly. We have beaten them back, but this is not the end. Their fleets will return. We must prepare for the next strike. Lieutenant Mara's eyes were still bright with awe. Admiral, I don't know how to thank them. One ship, they have done what the Council could not in centuries. Kale nodded. Humans are unlike any species I have known. Their strategy, their courage, it changes everything. We have learned from them, and that is our advantage now. On the Vanguard, Captain Richards observed the system with calm precision. Sensors show scattered enemy vessels attempting to retreat to nearby sectors. They are shaken but not destroyed. We cannot allow them to regroup. Elena Cruz, monitoring the holomap, responded. Captain, the fleet is ready. The Ceradians are following our lead perfectly now. If we strike decisively, we can end this campaign today. Richards gave a slight nod. Then we do just that. Prepare a coordinated assault. Focus on disabling their reinforcements, not just destroying them. We leave them no chance to recover. The human ship moved first, weaving through the debris and debris clouds left from previous battles. It struck with precision, disabling engines, power cores, and weapon systems without unnecessary destruction. The Ceradian fleet followed, taking cues from every maneuver. Kale watched in astonishment. They are not just fighting. They are showing us how to win. Every strike teaches, every maneuver inspires. One ship, teaching an entire fleet, Mara whispered. It is more than skill. It is vision. They see the battlefield as a living thing, and they guide us through it. The enemy, though weakened, attempted a desperate counter. Dozens of reinforcements jumped into the system, hoping to catch the Ceradians off guard. Their formation was tight, and their weapons were ready to obliterate anything in range. Richard studied the formation. They are confident. Too confident. We exploit that. The Vanguard darted between their ships, dodging volleys of fire while delivering precise strikes at exposed engines. Ceradian cruisers followed, focusing their energy beams on disabled ships. Fighters swarmed in perfect coordination, cutting off escape paths. Kale's claws clenched on the console. The humans anticipate everything. Every move they make, they predict the enemy's next step. Mara nodded. And we follow. We fight differently now, stronger, smarter. One of the largest enemy warships attempted to ram a Ceradian cruiser. The humans anticipated it, sending fighters to intercept and launching a series of energy blasts that forced the warship off course. It exploded in a massive flare, debris scattering in all directions. Kale's voice shook with awe. It is unbelievable. One ship leading an entire fleet, and teaching them in battle. Richards communicated with the Ceradian commanders, his voice calm but commanding. Concentrate on their weak points. Protect your allies. Keep moving, stay coordinated. Every strike matters. The Ceradians executed each command flawlessly. Fighters blocked enemy escape routes. Cruisers struck vulnerable points, and energy beams tore through enemy shields. The humans had shown them not just how to survive, but how to win as one fleet. The enemy commander, desperate and furious, tried a last-ditch maneuver, a high-speed assault aimed directly at the heart of the Ceradian fleet. Confidence turned to panic as the humans predicted the trajectory. The Vanguard intercepted, striking the lead ships first while Ceradian cruisers flanked from all sides. Explosion after explosion lit the void. Enemy ships faltered, then broke formation. Panic spread among their ranks. What had once been an organized attack was now a chaotic retreat. Kale watched, hardly believing what he saw. They are fleeing. They are truly fleeing. One human ship has done what we could not in centuries. They have saved us. And perhaps the system. Mara's voice trembled with relief. And they have taught us to fight like they do. We are no longer just survivors. We are a fleet that can defend itself. Because of them. The Vanguard hovered near the retreating enemy, scanning for stragglers, but Richards knew the mission was nearly complete. Let them flee, he said. We will not waste energy chasing the broken. Our purpose is to secure the system and protect the fleet. Kyle turned to Mara, his voice quiet but firm. Today we have learned something invaluable. Courage, intelligence, and unity. Those are the weapons the humans wield. They have changed our understanding of war forever. Mara smiled, tears forming in her eyes. We will remember this, Admiral. Humanity has shown us hope. They have shown us strength beyond what we imagined. As the enemy retreated beyond the system, the Ceradian fleet regrouped. Broken ships were repaired, fighters resupplied, and the wounded cared for. Amid the devastation, the survivors felt something new. Pride. Pride in their fleet, pride in themselves, and pride in the humans who had come to their aid. Richards addressed both fleets via comms. The system is secure for now. Remain vigilant, but know this. Cooperation, intelligence, and courage win battles. Today you have all proven that. The humans will return to their own sector, but the lessons remain. Remember them. The Ceradians cheered, though quietly. They were exhausted, but their spirits soared. One ship, one species, had turned despair into hope, chaos into strategy, and fear into courage. Kale looked at the Vanguard, its sleek hull reflecting distant stars. One ship, and yet it has changed the course of our history. The Council may ignore humans, but we will not. They have proven their worth beyond question, Mara added softly. We have seen what they can do. We have learned from them, and we will carry their lessons into every battle that comes next. The humans had not sought recognition or thanks. Their mission was complete. They had inspired, protected, and changed the outcome of a battle that could have ended in total annihilation. But their presence had left a permanent mark on the galaxy. As the Vanguard prepared to return to Earth, the Ceradian fleet gathered to bid farewell. Kale's voice, calm but filled with gratitude, came over the comms. Captain Richards and all aboard the Vanguard, you have our deepest thanks. You arrived when we had lost all hope and reminded us that courage, strategy, and intelligence can change everything. May we meet again in victory, not necessity. Richards nodded, his voice steady. The humans fight when duty calls. We act not for glory, but for life itself. Protect your world and remember the lessons we shared today. As the human ship disappeared into hyperspace, the Ceradians watched with a mixture of awe and respect. They had been saved, yes, but they had also been transformed. The way they fought, the way they led, and the way they thought about combat had changed forever. Kyle turned to Mara, his expression thoughtful. They may have left, but their impact remains. Humanity is not just another species, they are a force that can inspire, teach, and protect. One day the entire galaxy may realize what we have seen today. Mara smiled. And when that day comes, Admiral, we will remember who showed us the way. One human ship, one species, one lesson that changed everything. The Neri system slowly returned to calm. Fires were extinguished, communications restored, and the fleet stood ready to defend their world. But somewhere in the hearts of the Ceradians, a new understanding had taken root. The galaxy was larger, stranger, and more remarkable than they had ever imagined, and humans were at the center of that revelation. The stars shone brighter now, not just in the sky but in the hearts of those who had witnessed the impossible. One ship, one crew, had turned despair into hope, fear into courage, and defeat into victory. And in the quiet, infinite void of space, the galaxy began to whisper a new truth. Never underestimate humanity.